Welcome back to the show, everyone. You are listening to the I Am Real Estate Show. I'm Ray Smith, my wife Sandra Johnson, and we have our guest host, John McClain, also on the show.
Hey.
We're excited to have back, who's been here a couple of times and pretty awesome, is Rigo RC of Rigo Pest Prevention. He is the owner and proprietor of that organization. So first thing I want to ask Rico is, how's it going?
I'm doing well.
Hey, you mentioned something to me earlier today, and that is that this is spider season.
Spookyville. Yes, we have Halloween on the right around the corner, and it's no coincidence that homes have cobwebs and all that Halloween decoration. Well, it's indicative
I thought
of
my wife was dressing for Halloween.
Yeah,
That's what's going on.
That's right.
Makes
That's
sense.
right. Yep.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure she's very clever and very creative.
Very,
but
you'll see.
she's spot on, though. This time of year, spiders are rampant all throughout the country, the Southwest included.
Right.
And of course, it's fall, and you got Halloween, and so they kind of go together. But boy, I got to tell you, the spiders this year are really populated. We had a nice, generous rainfall this past summer, and so the insects are abounding. And of course, that is a wonderful buffet treat for spiders. They eat crickets as if you and I eat crab and lobster.
I love
Yes,
crab
they
and
love
lobster.
it. They love it.
So with that, does that mean that do we have to worry about killing the spider or just preventing it from coming into the house?
I'm glad you said that. Believe it or not, most spiders are what we call beneficial. In fact, I tell people just if it got inside, for example, boy, if you can try to get it out of the house, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line is not all spiders are harmful. They're beneficial. They're predators. They go after those insects. So really, they're like natural pest control agents, And what you want is you want them to be out of the house, obviously, and get them out in the periphery and leave them alone. Let them do their thing. Now, we do have spiders that we don't want, and that would be your black widows, the southern Arizona brown spider. Think of it as a recluse spider, okay? And then there's a huntsman spider. People call them daddy longlegs. They're actually called huntsman or hobo.
I did not know
Those
that.
three are the ones that are venomous. We don't want them, but all others, tarantulas, wolf spiders, you know how scary they look.
They do look scary.
Well, Sandra, leave them alone. Let them go,
I promise you, I will let them go. I'll put an
Practice
exit
patience.
sign
Practice
out.
patience.
I do not decorate my house for Halloween, and if I did, there will be no giant spiders. I promise you.
See.
So Rigo, you I'm just gonna dive into this right now. You walked by when we were doing the first segment, and I'm like, Rigo has the best hair of any guest that we have on this show.
He hates compliments, but he does.
Hey, listen,
that's
you know
true.
what? I think what you're saying is I have hair. Because I'm looking over at Ray right now.
And me, yeah.
And if I had two whiskers, you'd say it was good hair. I'm thinking.
There'll be some nice whiskers for sure. Yeah.
Well, not only did I'm thinking this in my mind. You walk in and John mentioned it, and so no, you win.
Well, I'll tell you why, and that is because I can't get to the barber. We are so busy. I'm serious. I don't think I ate in 3 days. It's just right now it is just game on. The desert is screaming. Everything is flying and crawling and stinging and winging.
Yeah.
And so we're busy, and someday I'll make it in the chair. We'll see.
All right.
Yeah, I'll look out for the Facebook post.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it, John.
Yeah.
So you not only do residential service, but you also provide commercial services.
We do. Not all pest control companies provide commercial service. It's a special niche. Really, the commercial customer, it's a high demand in terms of need, their services, their expectations. When a commercial phone call comes in and they need you to respond, you must respond.
Wow.
So you got to be prepared for it. And I think one of the niches that we do well with commercial service is the health and wellness industry, and childcare. I'll throw that in. We're a very pet-friendly, strategic, intelligent pest solution, right? So we're not going to come in and just start spraying everything and whipping around pesticides. We practice an integrated pest management process, lots of monitoring, inspection, very detailed work. And when you're dealing with, say, a dentist office, a medical building, child care, they want a safe, honest, sincere approach. And so we provide that, and I think we fit that realm real well. So I always like to remind people that we are a commercial pest control company as well, and our service philosophy fits that strategy.
Thinking of big businesses and big construction buildings, all hands on deck when you have to go do that. It's not just a one-person job, is it? Like in a hospital or?
Well, you just mentioned the hospital. Yeah, I mean, you could be at Sally's Beauty Supply, and that's just a little 800 square foot place, so that's no big deal. But yeah, once you start getting into commercial kitchen, say a hospital, a resort is another one.
Wow.
Yeah, you sometimes need a team to go in there. We actually call them SWAT teams, which is pretty cool.
That's funny.
You know, I'll tell you, back in the day, and you all know my roots with a large company years ago. Man, I used to enjoy doing that. We had a lot of fun with SWAT teams. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you carry those giant fly swatters for your
No,
clients?
more like a giant flashlight. We actually look like police officers.
That's what I was thinking. You dress
actually,
up like the police SWAT.
We
You
got
kick
all
in the
our gear.
doors and you mean it.
And
That's
I was thinking it looked more like Ghostbusters, like the movie
Okay.
Ghostbusters.
So we all have our
That's
own
it.
vision.
That's
See
right.
that?
Yeah, that's right.
This is Rigo with the wordplay. Man.
Yeah.
That's why they call it Rigo Pest Control.
Yeah.
It's important that you always use the word prevention. I like the fact you always say that. Even when I mention your show, I mention your company, I always make sure that prevention is put into the last word.
Yeah.
That's a big thing when it comes to.
It is for me, and really, it's a very popular industry-wide philosophy. But to really practice it, you have to be super intentional on it. The idea is to think ahead, think of what if.
Right.
And it's not enough just to react, put a little bug juice down and call it good, but really look at a property, whether residential or commercial, and think what could happen if a delivery came in to stock this restaurant. Where could those little critters go? So you work on prevention. If I seal up that opening so rodents can't get in the future, that's prevention.
Mm-hmm.
If I encourage a client to trim their landscaping down, like that lantana ground cover, big popular one, crickets love to hide underneath that. Trim it back. Now we're going to keep that place, less friendly to bugs. So prevention is key.
One thing I heard you also say was that you don't go as far out. We just talked about the lady from Benson. I just thought it was cute. That's how great your service is when they can't get you out there.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool when you told me the story.
Yeah,
about
she's
that.
moving to Benson, and we just don't go that far yet. So I'm going to have to rethink my growth plan. Take care of her.
That's the main reason why I brought that up. I'm trying to ask you the question.
She'll appreciate that, right?
Are you planning on extending the business out to places like that?
We do actually. The outer limits, right? Casa Grande is on the radar. Benson, Sierra Vista, that's on the radar. Right now, handling Tucson, though, boy, that's a full-time job. So, yep.
Yeah, Rigo Pest Prevention has its hands full.
We do. I just hired my 23rd employee.
Every time you tell me, the number keeps going up.
It
so
does.
that's great
It
news.
does. Last time I was here,
couple months, it's gone
in the
up
last
a
couple
lot,
of months,
yeah.
I hired 3 more. Exactly.
Wow.
Hey, everybody, you're listening to Ray Smith and Sandra Johnson on the I Am Real Estate Show. We're here with Rigo Arce of Rigo's Pest Prevention. We'll be back after this in a few minutes. You're listening to us on 1030 AM The Voice. Talk to you soon. We're back on our last segment. I'm talking with Rigo from Rigo Pest Prevention. I want to let everybody know that his name is Rigo. The company is Rigo. I have an issue with enunciating, so I will get better. But
yeah, we believe in you. We'll be praying for you.
I have not lost faith. I have not.
Well, we were talking earlier about snakes, and this is our spiders. This is spider season. What about the snakes?
It's getting cool these mornings and evenings,
Yes,
isn't
they
it?
are.
Oh my goodness, we got the windows open.
yes.
And but don't get fooled. The snakes are still out and about. They're warming themselves up. Snakes are cold-blooded, and so what that means is they need the temperature in order to warm up, and that's why you'll see them on the asphalt and sidewalks. They've got just like a lizard. If you ever see them do those cool push-ups, ever see? Oh man, I love when they do that. But anyway, snakes are still out and about.
I can see you
so be
watching
careful.
lizard
Me too. I'm
push-up
thinking the
videos
same
all
thing.
day long.
Coolest thing. I do. So, listen, great time right now to hike and trail and ride your bike. I mean, this is why we live here,
Yeah.
So be careful. The snakes are still definitely moving about. And if you've heard the word that, if you see a snake in your yard, the fire department's not going to come, they really have backed off. It is true. They were responding to so many false alarms.
Mm-hmm.
If there are pets or children involved, you can absolutely say, listen, this is serious. I've got children. I've got pets. They will come. The tip is, when you see a snake in your yard, keep an eye on it. If you can tell the fire department, you can see it, they'll come. If you don't know where it went, they're not going to come. They're not going to take the time. They've got too many other things to care for,
Yeah.
So little tip there, but by the way, Rigo, R-I-G-O, we do. I had to do that.
Pest
Ray.
prevention, not pesticides.
We do snake removal,
Okay.
and so if someone needs, that sort of response, if we're available, if we're not, we recommend a fabulous company. I'm going to give them a plug. They're the best. They're
Give it
called
to 'em.
Animal Experts.
Okay.
Those two owners are top notch. Mark and Jeff, animal experts for wildlife and bats, snakes, you name it. But we can help if we can.
Nice.
Actually, one of your employees was just mentioning them to us today.
Yeah, great
At our
guys.
home inspection, because he said someone called him out. They had a bobcat
That's
in
right.
the attic,
That's
and he
right.
said, "What am I supposed to
That's
do
right.
with a bobcat?"
That's it. There was a bobcat up there, and our agent looked at us and said, "What are you going to do about it?" And we said, "Nothing, absolutely nothing." But we do have a recommendation for you, and those guys over there are fabulous. And that's a great thing about our pest control industry. It's like a brotherhood, and at least most of the companies, it's that way. Every now and then you get a little squirrely with someone, but we have a great relationship in this community, and that protects the community.
Yes.
That's what that's about, right? If I can't do it, but you can, then you're the man.
Rigo, is there anything new in the industry for protection or protection products that?
Probably. I'm trying to think if there's the latest, greatest. There's new mosquito traps that are out. They've gotten better. They have a better spread in terms of pushing out a mimicking gas called octanol, and that's when you and I breathe, mosquitoes are attracted to our breath. So there's some advances in the mosquito trapping. As far as pesticides are concerned, they have become more and more less toxic. They are highly engineered to affect the chemistry of an insect. So, for example, it prevents a pesticide can prevent an insect from maturing mature parts, if you know what I mean, and therefore they can't reproduce. So they grow up, they live a life, and yet they can't reproduce. They're
That
sterile.
was so cute the way you said that.
I was trying to be politically
right?
correct here, but the cool thing about that is it doesn't affect you or I, the pets. It is specifically engineered to the biology of an insect. So these advances are always coming out. The ability to apply pesticides in low volumes is becoming big.
Okay.
So there's a lot of new labeling that's come out where you don't need as many gallons or as many of this or many of that.
Okay.
Just a lot of emphasis on the environment and safety. It's really improved our business. Yep.
We have here on the show Rigo RC, who is the owner of Rigo Pest Prevention. One other thing we want to talk about is how does your company stay on top of the business? What kind of information do you guys give to your employees that need to go read and learn more? Because you're very informative when it comes to insects.
Yeah, that's actually a great question. So all technicians and owners have to get certified, at first, and then we have to do what's called continuing education units, or CEUs. Very similar to a lot of other industries. So we have to keep that up, 6 to 12 hours a year. A lot of great publication. A few of our distributors that actually bring the pesticides in from manufacturers all through the country, they put on seminars. They invite the vendors in. Of course, the vendors want to promote that meeting and sell their product, but they put on great education on the latest and greatest and things like that. A couple of great pest control magazines like Pest Control Technology and Pest Management, two excellent publications. So there's just a plethora of resources, videos, YouTube, different websites, and some of your best pharmaceutical companies, and that's really the big pesticide manufacturers or pharmaceutical companies. They put out a lot of bulletins and other type of training so that pest control management professionals, PMPs, that's what we call ourselves, we get boned up on that material, and we become specialists, and of course, they're promoting that training and hoping we'd use their product. And if it's a good product, it's a nice relationship, right?
Yeah.
They're giving us a resource, we're using their products. That's how it kind of works.
So we've talked a little bit about the seasonal pests. Do termites have a season?
Termites in the desert floor are always there. Let's get that out. Okay, that's the thing I always tell people. 365 days a year. People say, why is termites in the desert? It's dry. We get some rainy seasons. Well, what happened is we've populated the desert, right? We put these beautiful concrete slabs down called foundations, and we build a house on it. and moisture is trapped underneath. So we've actually given termites an environment to thrive. So when the monsoon rains do come, to answer your question, Sandra, certainly after the monsoon rains, the late fall, early winter, big season, and then early spring, early summer, or I should say late spring, early summer after the winter rains. Those are our two big termite seasons. But frankly, it's year-round. We've made it very attractive for termites to thrive.
Why did we do that?
Why did we do that? But yet, we live here.
Yeah.
So we did come.
Yeah.
I own one of those slabs, right? So, you know.
Well, a lot of people don't really think about termites unless it's during the home buying process. But you do come out and do those initial
Pre-listing inspections.
Yeah.
You know, those are one of my favorites. I love working with my agents and offering that as a courtesy, by the way. And we're one of the few companies that does it. If you're going to put your home on the market, getting ready to list it, we provide a free inspection for the homeowner, the agent, as a service to get that home ready. Let's get a professional set of eyes on and in around that home. Make sure that there's nothing there so that when that house goes on the market, the seller has confidence that the home is clear. It's got a warranty if it needs it. If there was an issue, it's been treated at a reasonable rate. You know, we don't have this bidding war going on or crazy requests, you know. So pre-listing inspections have tremendous value. Plus, we find other matters like rodent issues, water damage, faulty grade soil issues. And our job is to educate, right?
Right.
Let you know as a homeowner, hey, fix this, fix that. We recommend that. Let's get you ready to put you in the best position to sell this beautiful home.
With that being said, does a WDI report comes with that pre-listing inspection?
No, it does not. That WDI, a wood destroying insect report, that's for the buyer when they do their inspections. Okay, that's a paid service, and that is a report that's filed with the state of Arizona.
That's why I asked.
And is used for the escrow and the closing
Okay.
right. So the pre-listing is for the seller, and that's free. That's a courtesy. But if you're buying a home, that's similar inspection, and in fact maybe a little more detailed, really. And that's where reporting and graphing and note-taking is done, because that documentation is supporting the funding of the loan. Yeah.
Well, as you're mentioning that, and then like microscoping in on that service that you guys provide, let's take a macro look of the different services that you guys provide.
Macro look. Ooh, I feel like I'm in a nutrition counseling session here.
Absolutely. Do you feel better?
I do. Did I
Okay,
hit my
good.
macros
Yeah.
today? I think I'm a little short.
Yeah.
So macro look. You know, pest control is your general crawling insects. Wood destroying insects, you got your beetles, you've got your termites, and you got carpenter ants. That's a special service there. Then you've got your rodents. You've got field rodents, pack rats. You've got house mice, right? That's an indoor problem. Then you get into what we call vector pests, like flies and mosquitoes. These are things that can plague us with disease, bed bugs as well. And so what we need to do is provide a service there, which we offer. You've got your residential and your commercial side of the business. How about weeds? You want to talk about a pest. Man, you want to throw your back out? Go pull weeds for an hour.
Yeah.
So weed control is a big one. Pre-emergent falls under that prevention.
Right.
That you mentioned, Ray. So those are just a litany of different services that we provide.
Awesome.
Yeah, I hope I nailed it.
That was great.
Okay.
Out of the park.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to question you back with the WDI report. I think a lot of people don't remember is that if you have a WDI report and it has a issue on it, that issue has to be cleared from the WDI report before it can be and given back to the seller.
Yeah, it ultimately depends on the lender, but usually it does.
Yeah.
And so particularly termites, if there's a wood destroying insect, yes, it needs to be proven. That's the key there. Proven that it's been corrected.
Okay.
But where it gets really sticky, for those of you listening that might be doing a VA refi or a VA funding, boy, that really gets in the weeds. If you find any types of conditions conducive, water damage, wood touching earth, cellulose debris, faulty grades, those things do need to be corrected. So it's a pretty thorough report. It really is.
How do we get a hold of you, Rigo?
Hey, you know what? I got a phone number. It begins with 520. I just want you to know. 744-6177. 744-6177. And here's the email, and the key letter in this email is the letter G.
Yeah.
I promise you. It's
for
G
go.
all the way. It's Rigo at rigopest.com. It's RIGO at RIGOPEST.com. Just for you, Ray.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we will end the show, and we thank you for
Perfect
being
ending.
here, Rigo.
Yeah.
And we want to thank our sponsors, Indy Realty, Horizon Inspections, Inspired Life Mortgage, Rigo Pest Prevention, Atomic Nutrition, and Sweet Little Chefs.
We see you guys next week.
Oh, yeah, God bless.